Hello friends and welcome! This time I will build a Soviet fighter interceptor, the MiG-3 MiG-3. For the build, I chose the 1:48 scale Trumpeter kit. The wings and fuselage includes rivets, which is always a nice detail. Wheel wells are also nicely molded, but I will do my own scratch build. I appreciate the nice detailing on the horizontal stabilizers, fuselage and the cockpit. In fact, the cockpit is nicely done, so I use only a bit of photo etched parts that I bought for this kit. The kit offers to build the model with folded flaps, which is always a good looking detail. For a stronger ornament, you can add the unguided RS-82 air-to-air missiles. The clear parts look very good and without stretches. The kit offers to build 3 machines in different camouflages, but I will go my own way. Looks like a very good kit. Let's build it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for not missing any new notifications. Cutting and cleaning the cockpit part was fast, because the cockpit doesn't include too much. Only the pilot seat was made out of few parts. I glued the parts together with Revo Contacta glue. Let's add some paint. First, I add a black pre-shading. The pre-shading will add a nice shady look. The whole cockpit is painted with a light blue color. I add the paint step by step, so the black pre-shading can pronounce in the background. Painting small details was always fun. For painting, I use Vallejo model color water-based acrylics. When I'm done painting small details, I add a metallic dry brush to highlight edges. Next, I seal the paint job with a glossy varnish coat and add a black planaline wash. Tamiya washes are excellent for the job. They are enamel based and dry very fast. After 10 minutes, the excessive wash can be removed with enamel thinner. Now I add a flat acrylic coat and prepare the cockpit for weathering. Oil paints are very good for creating weathering. I want to create a slightly dirty surface, so I tap only a few dots of oil paint on the surface. Battle aircraft are always dirty from inside: dust, dirt, soil, oxidized metal, and so on. For blending the oil paint, I used a drop of enamel thinner. Next, I create more scratches with a weathering pencil. Weathering pencils are quite good. I should use them more often, but they are water-based, and creating weathering is much difficult than with oil paints. You need a lot of time and patience. I tried once on my Star Wars AT-ST build. It was a good experience. I experimented a little bit and added few more dirty spots with a light rust pencil. Since the cockpit from the box was detailed enough, I decided to only use a few parts from the Edward Photo Edge accessories. I added details on the rudder pedals, seat belts for the pilot seat, a few levers and switches, and trim wheels. For gluing the PE parts, I used Loctite superglue. Let's glue all parts together. Only a few amount of glue was needed. The cockpit is done. In the next episode, I will focus on the wheel wells, landing gear, landing flaps, and other external details. Stay in touch. Bye. Hello friends, and welcome to the second part of the Trumpeterss MiG-3 build. In this part, I will work on the landing gear, wheel wells, glue them all together, and add photo edge landing flaps. I check out some photographs and I'm trying to replicate the aircraft landing gear details as much as possible. These small details are hydraulic hoses, tightening clamps, parts of the airframe structure, hydraulic pistons, and more. It's a complete scratch build, so I use lead and copper wires, plastic sticks, and aluminum foil. For gluing the lead wires, I use liquid superglue. After all these years, I got used to one brand of glue, and that's the Loctite Superbond Universal. Let's create tightening clamps from a self-adhesive aluminum foil. The foil is sticky itself. I simply wrap the foil around the landing gear leg and create a clamp. Next, I create details of the wheel wells. As a template, I use photographs of museum aircraft. When the wheel well details are finished, I assemble the cockpit parts together and glue it to the fuselage. Be very careful with this step. The cockpit itself is quite tight to the fuselage. You have to exert more force when pushing. I didn't buy any extra engine exhausts. This detail is nice itself from the box. The only thing that I did are drilling holes to the exhaust pipes. It would look much better with it. The MiG-3 was equipped only with 3 machine guns of rifle caliber. I don't like the look of the boxed machine gun muzzles. I prefer to make my own from hypodermic needles. This method is simple and fast, and the result looks good. Let's assemble the model's front section and wings. I didn't like the kit's option for folded landing flaps. They are too shallow and without details. Open landing flaps are always a very nice detail. For this reason, I purchased photo edge landing flaps from Edward. I have some experience with flaps bending, so this will be a piece of cake. That was kinda fun. 3 more to make. Now to the tricky part, removing the plastic from the wings. Best is to progress slowly and dry fit the landing flap step by step. Removing plastic, dry fitting. removing plastic, dry fitting, and on until the flaps fixed correctly. In my case, it went smoothly. After I'm finished dry fitting, I glue the metal flaps with superglue. Next, I work on the oil cooler. I already painted the grills when I was working on the cockpit. I dry brushed the grills with aluminum paint to highlight details. In this project, I glue the landing gear legs in position before painting. The reason is simple. The whole bottom side of the model will be painted with the same light blue color. Next, I mask the cockpit canopy with masking tape and liquid mask. The inner side of the cockpit canopy must be painted with the same color as the cockpit top. Don't forget to peel off the masking tape from the inner side before gluing into the fuselage. The next step is filling all gaps with putty. For a faster work, I dilute the putty with thinner. For sanding the putty, I use a P800 coarse grain sandpaper and water. After sanding, I mask the cockpit canopy. Small more touches here and there, and the model is ready for painting. In the third part of the build, I will do the paint job, decals and weathering. Until then, thank you for watching and see you next time. Hello friends, and welcome to the third part of the MiG-3 build. In this video, I will paint the camouflage, apply decals and play with the weathering. So let's get started. First, I mask all necessary details with liquid mask and masking tape. These details are landing and navigation lights and parts of the oil cooler. Now I clean the model with technical alcohol. The model is ready for priming. I started to paint the model with applying a black pre-shading. A pre-shading is good for highlighting shadows in panels. The camouflage will look much better with it. And as usual, I paint the wheels black as well. I want to create a chip of surface. For this reason, I paint the metal part of the aircraft with aluminum color. After that, I overpaint the aluminum color with a matte varnish. Let's add the chipping fluid. You need to spray at least 2 layers. Finally, let's paint the model. I started to paint the model from the bottom side with a light blue color. The Gunza Mystic Color C74 paint is very good. It has a great coverage and I can play with the shades how much I want. After I finished painting, I masked the bottom side with masking tape to protect the paint from overspraying. Next, I paint the dark green. And right after that, the light green. After the paint job is done, I remove the masking tape. Let's create scratches. I apply a small amount of tap water on the surface and let it soak to the paint job. After a few seconds, I carefully start to remove the paint with a toothbrush. This step is very crucial because you need to focus to not overdo it too much. Now I create tiny scratches with a toothpick. Next, I paint all necessary details with a thin paintbrush. Let's add a protective coat of a clear glossy varnish and apply decals. The decals that I chose for this build are not from the box, but from a Hungarian manufacturer, HUD Models. They are very good, do not tear or fall apart. Let's add another layer of a protective glossy varnish coat. And now to the fun part, weathering. I started with applying the Tamiya's black pen liner. This product is excellent. It has a good coverage and dries very fast. The panel liner is completely dry after 10 minutes. With a cotton bud and enamel thinner, I carefully remove the excessive wash. For the second step of the weathering, I need to apply a matte varnish. I want to create more faded areas. A white oil paint will do the job. I add small dots of oil paint on the surface and blend them with enamel thinner until they are almost not visible. The whole procedure is repeated until I'm satisfied. Let's create dirty spots on the aircraft. The same procedure is repeated here, adding dots of oil paint and blended with thinner. A good product for weathering are pigments. Mostly I use them on my tanks. There were lots of grassy and dusty airfields in Russia in the time of the Second World War, so the aircraft were very dirty from the bottom side. I work in the aircraft industry myself, and for the pigment weathering I took inspiration from a crashed aircraft. Its whole bottom side was very dirty and oily. After I finish with the weathering, I seal it with a matte varnish. Let's start with the final assembly. There were only few parts to glue in place. Landing gear covers, wheels, spinner with the propeller, and a cockpit canopy. Removing the mask from the cockpit frame was easy and without problems. At the very end of the assembly, I glued the radio antenna and the cockpit canopy. I added more scratches with an AK weathering pencil, and after that I called the model finished. This project was very fun to build. I hope you enjoyed the build as much as I did. Please subscribe, like or share this video. You can join me on Facebook, Instagram or Telegram. Thank you for watching guys, and see you next time.